Level up your learning, mastering the 6 levels of thinking. Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're embarking on a journey to supercharge your learning game. We're talking about the 6 levels of thinking, a framework that'll transform you from a passive note-taker into an academic powerhouse. This isn't just about acing exams, though that's a pretty sweet bonus. This is about unlocking your full intellectual potential. So, buckle up, grab your thinking caps, and let's dive in. Alright, level 1, remembering. It might sound a bit basic, like, dude, I remember my name, I'm good, right? But hold on, this is about building a solid foundation. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. Recipe for disaster, right? Remembering is about those fundamental facts, dates, formulas, definitions, the building blocks of any subject. You gotta have the raw materials before you can start building anything awesome. Think of it like this. You're learning a new language. You gotta memorize vocabulary and grammar rules before you can even think about forming sentences, let alone having a conversation. It's the same with any subject. You need that base level of knowledge to progress. Now, this doesn't mean rote memorization is the be-all and end-all. There are actually ways to make remembering more engaging and effective. Flashcards, mnemonic devices, even turning information into songs or rhymes. Find what works for you. The key is to make those foundational pieces stick, because trust me, as you move up the levels, you'll be calling upon this base knowledge constantly. It's like leveling up in a video game. You've got to master those early levels before you can take on the big boss. So don't underestimate the power of remembering. It's not just about regurgitating facts on a test. It's about laying the groundwork for deeper understanding and critical thinking. And that, my friends, is what we're all about. Okay, so you've got the building blocks. Now it's time to start putting them together. Level 2 is all about understanding, taking those facts and figures and actually grasping what they mean. This isn't just about parroting back information, it's about internalizing it, connecting the dots and seeing the bigger picture. Think about reading a book. You can remember the names of all the characters and recite the plot points, but true understanding comes when you grasp the underlying themes, the character's motivations, the author's message. This is where you go from, okay, I know this happened, to aha, I see why this happened and how it connects to everything else. How do you know you've reached understanding? Well, you're able to explain the concept in your own words, maybe even teach it to someone else. You start to see relationships between different pieces of information, and you can use your knowledge to answer questions you've never encountered before. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you're just trying to stay upright, following the instructions, but once you understand the mechanics, the balance, the coordination involved, boom, you're off. You can ride on different terrains, even pull off a few tricks. Understanding is all about that aha moment, that feeling of the light bulb going off. And once you've got it, the learning process becomes way more rewarding. All right, time to get practical. Level 3 is where the rubber meets the road, applying what you've learned in real-world situations. Because, let's be honest, knowledge without application is like a car that just sits in the garage. It looks nice, but it's not really fulfilling its purpose. This is where things get really interesting. You've got the knowledge, you understand the concepts. Now it's time to see how it all works in practice. This could mean solving problems, conducting experiments, designing something, or even just explaining a concept to someone in a way they can understand. Think of it like learning to cook. You can read all the cookbooks in the world, memorize recipes, understand the science behind different cooking methods, but none of that matters until you actually get in the kitchen and start chopping, mixing, and sautéing. The more you apply your knowledge, the more confident you become. You start to see the connections between theory and practice, and you develop a deeper understanding of how things work. This is also where you really start to internalize information. It's one thing to memorize a fact, it's another to actually use it in a meaningful way. That's when it truly becomes a part of your understanding. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, to make mistakes, and to experiment. The more you apply what you're learning, the more valuable it becomes. Chapter 4. Analyzing, breaking it down to build it up. Buckle up, detectives, because level 4 is all about channeling your inner Sherlock Holmes. Analyzing involves dissecting information, breaking it down into its component parts to understand how it all fits together. Think of it like taking apart a clock. You can see the clock face, the hands, maybe even hear it ticking. But to really understand how it works, you need to open it up, examine the gears, springs and levers, and see how they interact with each other. That's what analyzing is all about, identifying patterns, recognizing relationships, and drawing conclusions based on evidence. This level is where critical thinking really comes into play. You're not just accepting information at face value, you're questioning it, evaluating its credibility, and looking for underlying assumptions. You're asking questions like, why is this important? What evidence supports this claim? Are there alternative explanations? This might sound a bit intense, but trust me, it's incredibly empowering. When you develop your analytical skills, you become a more discerning consumer of information. You're able to see through biases, identify fallacies, and form your own well-reasoned conclusions. So put on your thinking caps, grab your magnifying glasses, and let's get analytical. Chapter 5. Evaluating Judging with a Critical Eye. All right, time to put on our judge's robes. Level 5 is all about evaluation, making judgments based on criteria and standards. Now, before you start picturing yourself on a reality TV show, remember, evaluation isn't about being judgmental or negative. It's about carefully considering information, weighing the evidence, and forming informed opinions. Think of it like choosing a new phone. You wouldn't just walk into a store and buy the first one you see, right? You'd consider your needs, compare features, read reviews, maybe even ask friends for recommendations. Evaluation is similar. You're using your knowledge, understanding, and analytical skills to assess the value of information, arguments, or solutions. You're asking questions like, is this information reliable? Is this argument logical and well supported? Does this solution address the problem effectively? This is where things get really interesting because evaluation often involves subjectivity. There might not be a single right answer, but that's okay. The goal is to develop your own informed perspective based on careful consideration and critical thinking. So don't be afraid to weigh the pros and cons, to challenge assumptions, and to form your own opinions. Just be sure to back up your judgments with evidence and sound reasoning. Chapter 6. Unleashing Your Inner Innovator. We've reached the summit, my friends, the pinnacle of the thinking pyramid. Level 6 is all about creation, taking all that knowledge, understanding, and critical thinking and using it to generate something new. This is where things get truly exciting. You're no longer just consuming information, you're producing it. You're coming up with your own ideas, solutions, inventions, even works of art. Think of it like building a house. You've learned about architecture, engineering, design, you've analyzed blueprints, evaluated materials, and maybe even helped build a few walls. Now it's time to design and build your own dream home. Creation is about innovation, imagination, and taking risks. It's about looking at problems from new angles, connecting seemingly disparate ideas, and coming up with solutions that are both original and effective. This is where you get to unleash your inner entrepreneur, artist, inventor, whatever your passion may be. And the best part? There are no limits to what you can create. The world is your oyster, and your imagination is the pearl. And there you have it, folks, the 6 levels of thinking. Remember, this isn't about becoming an expert overnight. It's about embracing a journey of continuous learning and growth. Start by focusing on your foundation, then gradually work your way up, challenging yourself to think more deeply and critically. Keep practicing, stay curious, and never be afraid to ask questions. And most importantly, have fun with it. Learning should be an adventure, not a chore, so go out there, level up your thinking, and see what amazing things you can achieve. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. See you next time.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.